And these sessions are going to train the students in different skills such as reasoning skills, aptitude skills, and it also helps the student to think in a very innovative way. As we all know that the Olympiad exams are something which are going to test students' skills based on aptitude, based on innovative methods and observational skills and so on. Therefore, it's very important for a student to get trained on such factors. And Cuemath has taken the initiative to take up these master classes for next 3 months and cover up all the topics for grade 1 to grade 10. And the designated timetable is also being shared to all the TUCO registered users. So with this, I would quickly like to introduce myself. This is Trishita Majumdar here. I'm a teacher expert at Cuemath and my teaching experience is 4 years. I primarily teach mathematics and reasoning and I teach students from India and US. So now let's look into the table of contents. So let's look into the topics for today. Understanding of logical sequence and ranking, its applications, objectives, problems, and learning outcomes. So let's first go into the definition of logical sequence. A logical sequence is a set of numbers, alphabets, etc. following in a sequence with some sort of relation between two consecutive terms. So basically, logical sequence is something which generates a meaningful pattern. It could be between anything. It could be between numbers. It could be between alphabets. It could be between figures. It could be between anything. So when you frame a sequence which leads to a pattern or which leads to a meaningful outcome is known as a logical sequence. Going ahead with ranking. It involves an arrangement of positions or ranks of an object or a person either from left to right or top to bottom. So you could more say that ranking is something which is arrangement of position of either people or different objects, different participants. They could be anything. So they are arranged in different ways. Either they are arranged from top to bottom, left to right, anything. So they could be arranged horizontally, vertically. So according to their positions, they are being numbered so that the number is helping us to understand which object is at what position. So let's go ahead. We'll look into the applications. So the first application, rankings make it possible to evaluate complex information according to certain criteria. It is used for comparison between participants. So without ranking, comparison is not possible. The most basic example you could take is the results of students in a class. So whenever a student gets specified with his or her overall percentage of marks in school, so they are basically graded and accordingly they are ranked in class. So without the ranking system, it's impossible for us to compare the best quality features between the students. It could be any features. It could be in terms of marks. It could be in terms of any other feature. So ranking makes it very easy for us to understand levels. Who is at which level? So hence ranking becomes very, very important and basically ranking makes things very, very simpler. So when you rank things, it becomes easy for us to sort out things, right? So sorting is very important for us in daily life. So sorting is one of the most important application of ranking. Ranking helps in sorting out things. So we'll understand how to interpret patterns, number sequence, or the relationships. So using ranking, we would be checking how can different patterns or number sequences be ranked, and according to the ranking system, how different patterns are also being generated. So these are some important applications of ranking and logical sequence. Now with this, let's go ahead and look into our objectives for today's session. We have pretty lot of objectives to be covered up today. So the session is going to go a long way. I want all of you to stay connected and watch the session till the end because we are going to do some awesome questions in today's session, and trust me, it's going to be very, very helpful and it's going to be a very useful session. The outcome of this session is going to be very beneficial for all the students and teachers and whoever is looking out for such content. So the first topic for the logical sequence and ranking is alphanumeric sequence, number sequence, ranking test, time sequence test, logical sequence of words, alphabet tests, and advanced questions. Do not leave the session in between because we are going to have some amazing advanced problems as well. Starting with some basic level questions, we'll slowly go ahead with different patterns. So you will basically get an overview of what all are the types of questions that could appear in Olympiad examinations. So with this, let's proceed. So before going ahead, I would like to introduce some best practices, or you could say these are some things which needs to be kept in our mind while working out on questions. And they are very important for all of us to follow. Here goes our practices. The first one, observe alphabets given in each question. Yes, observation is the key skill to work out on any question and figure out the right approach to it. Without observation, working on any of the aptitude topics gets very difficult. Coming to the second point, try to find the pattern or sequence it follows. It's again something which is a continuation of observation, you could say. The more you observe, the better you understand the patterns or the sequence. And as soon as you get the grip of patterns or sequence, the analysis becomes very easy for us to go ahead. Next, decipher the code assigned to each alphabet. As I have also mentioned in my previous sessions, numbering alphabets is one of the best method to make alphabet questions very simple. So numbering of alphabets is something which is again going to be used whenever required. Figure out the rule followed by the given arrangement of alphabets or words. There is some rule which is being followed in case of logical sequence. It could be a rule, it could be a pattern. So we have to be very cautious while figuring out what are the rules being followed, right? So as soon as you understand the rules, we need to apply it. The application part comes, and that's how it helps us to arrive to the right answer. Always refer to the given options to get a sense. So you need to look into the given options so that you get an idea what is the answer, right? Like for example, let's say that if you are given a question and you exactly do not know what is expected out of the question. So when you observe the questions and when you observe the answers, many times looking at the options helps you out in analyzing and eliminating things. There are a lot of times we could we could get to the right answer by eliminating options. So elimination of options helps us a lot to get to the right answer in few cases, and for that we have to look into the options very carefully. So the ultimate goal of these best practices, just observation, analyze. That's the key skill to get the right answers to such questions. So with this, let's proceed with our first objective, that is alphanumeric sequence. Let's look into question number 1. Before I proceed with the question, I want all of you to be responsive enough, and every student, parent, teacher, whoever is attending the session, please go ahead, try out the question, and I want all of you to be responsive and give your answers on the comment section. Let's see. So here goes our first question. Answer the following question referring to the symbol or letter or number sequence given below. So here's a sequence that's being given to us. And now, what do we see? We would be seeing how many symbols in the sequence are either immediately followed by a letter belonging to the first half of the English alphabet or by a number. So, you will have to go to the alphabet series and think about what are the first half of alphabets, right? So, all of you can put in the alphabets in your notebook if you require to refer it, and divide it into two parts. So we have 27 alphabets in total. We have 27 letters in total, which could be divided into two parts. And then all the requirement of the question is that the letter English alphabet, which has to belong to the first half, right? The letter which has to belong to the first half of the English alphabet. Okay. So first, let's quickly underline the keywords here. How many symbols? As in, we have to count the symbols in the sequence are either immediately followed. So next important keyword here is that we have to check for the ones which are immediately followed, by a letter belonging to the first half of English alphabet, right? So if you divide 27 into two parts, you could, for an approximate case, you can just take 13 letters. We know 13 times 2 is 26. Okay. So let me write down the first 13 letters. A, or let's just write it down here. Yes. So let's figure it out. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. How many done? 5 plus 5, 10, 11, 12, L, M. Okay. So let's go till M and check out what are the possibilities that could come up here. Okay. So now let me put on the options as well. So here goes our options. Let me just write it below this. So here A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M. Okay. And now let's see. So one thing which is to be very clear is that you need to count the symbols, because they are asking how many symbols. What are symbols? Everything which you see apart from numbers and letters here are symbols. This is a symbol, this is a symbol, all of these are symbols. Okay. So we need to see that these symbols are immediately followed by a letter which is in this series A to M. Okay. And also or it could be followed by a number. Okay. And we are supposed to check how many such symbols do we have. Okay. So if you look into this, the first one is a question mark. So whenever we say following the symbol, it means that the letter or the number should occur after the symbol, not before the symbol. Okay. That's what is meant by follow. So we see that after question mark, we have a 3. So hence, this is one of the symbols which is being followed by a number. We have @ followed by 8. Again, this is the second symbol and this is satisfying our question that it is being followed by a number as well. And then next we have a asterisk, or you could say star, which is being followed by a number again. And then we have a dollar symbol which is being followed by a number. And then we have the symbol which is being followed by V. But now here comes the catch. Is V lying in the first half of the alphabets? No. So we are going to strike this out. Coming to the next one, we do not have any more symbols available to us. So how many such symbols did we figure out? 1, 2, 3, 4, and hence the correct option to this is 4 symbols. I hope the question was clear to all of you. So we are starting with pretty basic question and slowly we would be proceeding with advanced level questions. Okay, good job to all of you who have given the answer correctly on the comment section. With this, let's go ahead with our second question for today. The second question goes here. Answer the following question referring to the symbol, letter or number sequence given below. So let's see. This is again a given sequence and let me also put on the options here. And now let's check. What is the total number of numbers? They are asking how many. So this is again important. What are we supposed to count? We are supposed to count the numbers immediately followed by a letter. So immediately followed by a letter. When I say the word immediately, it means that it should just occur after the number. Okay. So it has to be followed by a letter and the symbols immediately preceded by a letter, right? We also have to calculate the number of symbols which are immediately preceded by a letter. What do we mean by the word preceded? Preceded means that the letter should always occur before the symbol. So I hope the wordings are clear enough. When I say followed, it means it should occur after the specific number or letter, whatever they are mentioning to. And when I say immediately preceded, it means that it has to occur before the symbol. Okay. And you have to add up these two to count how many such numbers and symbols are present with us. Okay. So first, let's do this separately. Let's just analyze for numbers. So when we do it for numbers, So what are we supposed to check for numbers? They are immediately being followed by a letter. So let's mark all the numbers that's being followed by a letter. We have a 9, but 9 is not being followed by a letter. We have 4, which is being followed by a letter. We have a 3, followed by a letter K. And then we have 8, followed by a letter. We have 2, followed by a letter. And then we have 7, which is being followed by a letter again, which is Z. And we have 5 as well, which is being followed by a letter A. So how many numbers did we figure out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So are all of these being followed by letters? Yes, all of these are being followed by letters. That's 4, which is being followed by V, 3 being followed by K, 8 being followed by M, 2 being followed by D, and 7 being followed by Z, and 5 being followed by A. So we have in total 6 numbers. Now let's calculate for symbols. So symbol needs to be immediately preceded by a letter, right? Preceded by a letter as in before every symbol you need to have a letter. So let's check the first symbol, which is a question mark. Yes, we do have a letter which is occurring before this symbol, which is V. Let's check for @ We again do have a letter which is occurring before @, which is Q. And then we have an asterisk. This also has a letter occurring first. We have the symbol $, which has a letter occurring first. We have this as well. And anything else here? No. So how many symbols did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the symbols that we got here is nothing but 5, correct? So now from here, when we add up these two, 6 plus 5, it gives us 11. So this gives us 11, and hence the option to this question is nothing but above 9. With this, we'll proceed to our next objective. Let's start with our number sequence now. So here goes our first question. How many 5s are there in the following sequence such that the sum of the two immediately following digits is greater than the sum of the two immediately preceding digits? So let's look into the options for this question. And here we look into the number of 5s for which the sum of the two immediately following digits is greater than sum of the two immediately preceding digits. As in, let's say that we have a digit 5. The immediately preceding digits before 5, you'll have to calculate the sum of it, and you'll also have to calculate the sum of the digits which is following 5. And you have to compare in which case the sum of the following digits is greater than the sum of the preceding digit. And those 5s needs to be considered. Okay. So in this case, we are first going to mark the 5s. So here I have a 5. So for this, let's check what's the two preceding digits. We have a 7 and 6. And we know that 7 plus 6 gives us 13, right? And the following digits are 8 and 3. 8 and 3 gives us 11, correct? So here we see that the sum of the following digits is lesser than the sum of the preceding digits. Hence, we will not consider this. Similarly, let's go ahead with the next one. Here's a 5. So we know that 2 and 4. What's the sum of 2 and 4? It's a 6, right? So 2 plus 4 is 6 and 5 plus 4 is 9. So 5 plus 4 is equal to 9. Here what do we notice? 6 is lesser than 9, or you could say 9 is greater than 6. So can I say that the sum of the following digits is greater than the sum of the preceding digits? Yes. Hence this would be considered as our one of the 5s. Now let's look into the next 5. If you look into this 5 now, the sum of the preceding digits is nothing but 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4, and the sum of the following digits is 4 plus 8, right? 4 plus 8. And if you notice here, this is 5 plus 4, which is 9, and this is 8 plus 4, which is 12, right? So 5 plus 4 is 9 and 8 plus 4 is 12. Here again we see that we have this one to be greater than this, right? So 9 and this is a 12, correct? So from here, now let's go ahead. So we know that we are going to consider this 5 as well. So as of now, we have got one of 1, 2 5s, right? Now going ahead with the next 5, let's check with this. We know that the preceding digits are 9 plus 1, 10 and 4 plus 3, 7. So 10 is greater than 7. Hence, we are not going to consider this 5. Next 5, we have it here. So you can see the preceding digits are 7 plus 8, which is nothing but 15, and 9 plus 8, which is nothing but 17, right? So we know that 17 is greater than 15. 17 is greater than 15. Hence, we would be considering this 5 as well. So now, counting all the 3 5s, we have option C, which says that we have 3 such 5s for which the preceding value is, the sum of the preceding digits is lesser than the sum of the following digits. I hope this question was clear to all of you. Yes, so with this, we are going to go ahead with the next question. Let's see. Here goes our next question. If the following numbers are written in descending order, then what will be the middle digit of the middle term? All right. Pretty simple question. All of you are already aware of the way how to proceed with it. You all can give it a try and comment on the comment section. Let's see. So here, if you notice, we have certain set of numbers given, and we are first of all going to arrange them in descending order. That's the first work to be done. Okay. So the first number, if you see here, is 789. 789, and then we have 785. So let me write it down here. Then goes 723. So this is 723. Then we have 713, not 6, 713. And then we have 689. Then we have 659. And finally, we have 585, right? So if you notice here, we are telling us when these numbers are arranged in descending order, what will be the middle digit of the middle term? So first of all, let's look into what's the middle term of this. So how many numbers do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we know that the middle term would be the fourth term here. And for this middle term, we are supposed to find out the middle digit, right? And what is it? It is nothing but 1. Correct? And hence, our answer would be option A, which is equal to 1. I hope that was clear enough. So with this, let's proceed with the next question. So the next question that we have is basically from the next objective, and that's nothing but ranking test. So here in ranking test, basically, as I mentioned earlier, we are majorly going to focus with different arrangements, patterns, and so on. So let's quickly look into the question here. In the following letter series, which letter is 6th to the right of the 14th letter from the right end? Okay. So this is pretty confusing if you go about the question as a complete one. So break it down into different words, I would say. And marking the keywords is very important again. So here, if you see here, which letter is 6th? 6th to the right of. To the right of what? They are giving a reference. You have to first catch the reference here. We still do not know what's the reference here. To the right of the 14th letter. So from here to here, this part becomes our reference. So from our reference, we'll have to calculate the 6th position to the right. Okay. But to calculate the reference, we'll first mark our left and right. Okay. So as per convention, we are going to take this as left and we are going to take this as right. So first of all, when we have to find out what is the 14th letter from the right end, let's start counting. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have figured out that L is nothing but the 14th letter. Now, this has become our reference, right? This is my 14th letter. From this 14th letter, I'm supposed to find the letter which is 6th to the right of it. So to sit to the right of it, as in which direction would I be going? I would be now going in this direction. Okay. So when I go in this direction, let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So hence we see that R is nothing but the 6th letter to the right of the 14th letter from the right end. Hence it's option B, which is R. Pretty simple. Let's go ahead with the next question, guys. I hope everybody is understanding the session well. We still have a lot of objectives to cover up. So please do keep watching the session, and we are going to soon go ahead with our next objective after another question, and then slowly proceeding with our advanced questions. Okay, now let's see our second question. Kuldeep is 9 ranks ahead of Gauri, who ranks 19th in the class in the annual examination. What is Kuldeep's rank from the bottom if there are 38 students in the class? So let's quickly do this. There is a very common mistake which is done by students in these kind of problems. I'm also going to highlight that. So let me just first make a quick diagram here. Let's say that this is my ranking diagram, and this is top and this is bottom. And I know that there are in total 38 students. So this is 1 and this is 38. So now Kuldeep is 9 ranks ahead of Gauri, who ranks 19th in the class. Now this who refers to whom? This who refers to Gauri, right? So Gauri is at the 19th position. So this is for Gauri, and Kuldeep is 9 ranks ahead of Gauri. So if I say that I am at the 5th position and my friend is at the, maybe I could say my friend is 2 ranks ahead of me. So which position is my friend at? How would I figure that out? 5 minus 2, which is 3. So when in this case, if I have to figure out Kuldeep's rank, I would do 19 minus 9, which is nothing but 10th rank from top, correct? From top. And whose ranking is this? This is for Kuldeep. So Kuldeep is at this position. He's at the 10th rank. He's a 10th ranker from the top. But now what is being asked in the question? Now we are being asked that out of 38 students, what is Kuldeep's rank from the bottom? So from the bottom, do I do 38 minus 10 directly? No. That's something which is incorrect, and most of the students get incorrect answer. They do 38 minus 10 and end up getting 28th rank, and that's incorrect. Okay? The reason is when you are actually finding out at which position is Kuldeep at from the end, we are also including this 38, right? We are also including this 38 and we are going to 10 and we are subtracting it away, right? Like let's say just for an example, if I have 20 students in a class, okay? Let's say that I have 20 students in a class. So that means this is from top and this is from bottom. This is ranker 1 and this is ranker 20, okay? And now let's say that I'm at the let's say 13th position, okay? I'm at the 13th position from top, okay? So let me just mark it down here. I'm at the 13th position from the top. So what would my position be from the bottom, right? So for what would my position be from the bottom? You yourself can count it out. It's 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, right? So when I'm going from the bottom, I would also include this 20, right? So 20 to 13, when I go back from the bottom to top side, I see that I'm at the 8th position from bottom. As in, if I do 20 minus 13, it just gives me 7. Why? The reason is we are not taking 20 into consideration. But we cannot skip 20, right? Because 20 is also considered to be the rank. So 20 also needs to be considered. So when we are doing 20 minus 13, we get a 7. But actually I'm at the 8th rank. So what do? Plus 1 to it, which gives me a 8. Similarly, here we would do 38 minus 10 plus 1, which is equal to 29th rank. Hence, option C is the right answer. So I again repeat, the reason we do this plus 1 is when we are going from bottom to top, if we do 38 minus 10, it basically means that I am not including 38 in my ranking, which is incorrect, right? If a first ranker can be included from top, how cannot the person who is ranked at the end be counted? He or she also should be counted, right? They cannot be ignored. Hence, this plus 1 comes into picture. I hope everybody understood this question. Okay. So with this, let's go ahead to the next one. If any of you have any queries, please do post it on the comment section. We'll definitely be reverting to it. Let's go ahead and look into our next objective. Okay, so now our next objective is time sequence test. Let's see. On reaching the place of 15 minutes before 8:30 hours, Pawan found himself half an hour earlier than the man who was 40 minutes late. What was the scheduled time of the meeting? Let's check. So if you see here, on reaching 15 minutes before 8:30 hours, so Pawan is reaching at what time? Pawan is basically reaching at 15 minutes. When you subtract 15 minutes from 8:30, what would it be? It would be basically 8:15, right? So Pawan is reaching at 8:15. And he found himself to be half an hour earlier than the man who was 40 minutes late. So Pawan was half an hour earlier. So if Pawan was half an hour earlier, then can I also reframe the sentence and say that the man was half an hour late when compared to Pawan? Yes, I can definitely say that. So what would the man's timing be? The man's timing would be half an hour more than Pawan, and according to that, it would become 8:45. Now if you see, this man, at the time at which this man reached, is basically 40 minutes late to the scheduled meeting time. As in, if he is 40 minutes late, that means if you subtract 40 minutes from 8:40, so how much do you get? You get 8:05, right? So from 8:45, if you go back to 40 minutes and if you subtract away 40 minutes, you get 8:05. So the actual scheduled time for the meeting was supposed to be 8:05 hours, but the man reached 40 minutes late, and that's how he reached at 8:45. I hope this was clear to all of you. So for such kind of questions, I would always say, break it into parts. All of the aptitude questions are basically like this. Observe, break it into parts and try to understand things. Okay. So hence it's option B. So I hope the question was clear to all of you. Now let's go ahead. So our next question on time sequence is this. Apeksha eats something after every 1.5 hours. Please mark the important details. She eats after every 1.5 hours. Her friend Neelam had invited her for a dinner party on the same day. This is just an extra information. Apeksha answered Neelam for a question on phone call at 20:20. Okay, so this is an important data. So she has answered. So if you guys face difficulty with 20:20, like if any of you are not very comfortable with 24 hours format, let me also translate it to 12 hours format. Basically 20:20 means 8:20 p.m. If this helps you in understanding the question better, I would say you can go ahead. And later on, when you get to the answer, you can again convert it back to 24-hour format and enter your option. Okay? Alright. So basically, Apeksha answered Neelam's call at 8:20 p.m. and she said that she had eaten 40 minutes ago. So just stay till here. Do not move further. 40 minutes ago from 8:20 p.m. would be how much? So any answers? It would be nothing but 7:40 p.m. Right? 7:50 is half an hour earlier. 7:40 is nothing but 40 minutes earlier. So that means she had her last meal at 7:40 p.m. This was her last meal. And then what's told? And then it's told that, and the next time she will eat is at the party. What is the scheduled time of the party? Now we are going to make use of this. We know that Apeksha eats at every 1.5 hour of interval. So if the last meal was taken at 7:40 p.m., which I got it basically from this 8:20 p.m. minus basically 40 minutes, which gave me 7:40 p.m. So if 7:40 p.m. was the time when she had her last meal, from here, if you add 1.5 hours, how much would it be? So 7:40 p.m. plus 1 hour would be 8:40 plus half an hour more would be how much? 8:40 plus half an hour more? Yes? Yes. So it is going to be 9:10, right? It is going to be 9:10 p.m., right? So 7:40 to 1 hour is 8:40 and 8:40 to 9 is 20 minutes plus 10 minutes is nothing but 9:10. And now we know that her next meal she would take is at 9:10 p.m. And what is it referring to? She is going to have this meal at the party. That means in a way that the scheduled time of the party is what? It is nothing but 9:10 p.m. Now when we convert this back to our 24 hours format, So if 20 represents 8, definitely 21 represents 9. So 2110 is the correct answer to this. I hope the question was clear to all of you. Now let's proceed further. Let's start with our next objective, which is logical sequence of words. Let's see the first question. Is it possible to make only one meaningful English word with the first, fourth, fifth, ninth and 11th letters of the word translocation? Okay, first of all, they are giving us some reference of the words which we are going to take ahead. First, fourth, fifth, ninth and 11th, right? So let me again write down the word translocation. T-R-A-N-S, trans, L-O-C-A-T-I-O-N. Okay, and let's quickly mark the positions of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So what are the ones we need? We need the first one, we need the fifth one, and then we need ninth, which is A, and we need 11th, which is nothing but I, right? And is there anything else? And we need fourth as well, right? We missed out on the fourth one. Yes. So we need T, N, S, A, and I. Okay. Now they're telling if such word cannot be formed, that means using these letters, if you cannot frame any word, then give X as your answer. And if more than one such word can be formed, then give Z as your answer. Okay. So now let's look into this and check out. So if you notice here if you notice, you have T, N, S, A, I. Let's try to figure out if we can frame some words from here or not. Any guesses? All of you can put it on the comment section if you have any clues. Okay, let me frame some words here. If you see, I'll arrange it of one format, S-A-I-N-T, which is nothing but saint. This is one word. And now, the other one which could be possible from here is, I could also say S-T-A-I-N, which is nothing but stain, right? See, I could actually frame more than one word. And if you can frame more than one word, then Z has to be your answer. I hope that was clear enough, simple enough. So here your vocabulary plays a very important role. Okay. So let's do a similar kind of question now. Let me take you to the next question. Here goes our next one. Is it possible to make a meaningful word with the second, fifth and eighth letters of the word caretaker? So let's again quickly write down the word caretaker. So C-A-R-E-T-A-K-E-R. This is our word caretaker. And now let's mark the positions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So from here, you will have to do the same thing. If you can frame any word using the respective letters which is given here, second, fifth and eighth. Okay. So we know that second is this, fifth is this and eighth is this, right? So we can write it down A-T-E. We already figured out a word, right? A-T-E, which is 8. And I know this is a pretty simple question. The next one is E. The next one is T. We have so many words which can be framed using these three letters. So of course, our answer is going to be M. Because if more than 2 such words can be made, give M as the answer. Hence, option D becomes our result. Okay. So I hope that was clear enough. Now let's go ahead. So with this, we are going to move ahead with our next objective, which is nothing but the alphabet test. So let's see here, guys. Which word would come at last if the following words are arranged in alphabetical as in a dictionary? So we basically have to arrange them in alphabetical order, which we've been doing in a lot of places. Especially the most important application of alphabetical arrangement is the teachers who are maintaining attendance register for different students in schools. So the first and foremost thing is that all the student names should be written in proper alphabetical order. That's the most important application of alphabet test and such kind of questions, I would say. Okay, so now let's compare. So if you look into this, most of the letters are same. That's how it's going to be a little time taking. So if you see how many letters are same in all the 4 options, let's check. We can see that E, X, T are same in all the 4 options. So we don't have to check letter by letter. The only difference that's coming in is after R. So we have E, we have a. So definitely they are asking us which would come in the last. So definitely the ones which has A, we are eliminating this. We are eliminating this as well. So now the comparison is between A and C. Now let's check the next one, E. And we do have M, so no comparison. Then we have an E here, we have an I here. And we know that out of E and out of I is the one which comes later in the alphabet set. And therefore, when arranged in alphabetical order, it's very obvious that extremities is going to appear at the end. I hope that question was clear enough and simple enough, right? So let's go ahead with the next question. I hope all of you are commenting on the comment section and enjoying the session. Do keep commenting and please keep posting your queries. If you do have any doubts, we'll definitely be responding to it. Let's proceed with the second question here. In each of the following question, arrange the given words in a meaningful sequence and then choose the most appropriate order from the given 4 alternatives. So this is more of English here, right? So we again have more of English here. Let's see. We have birth, death, study, degree, marriage. Okay. It's very obvious that I need to take birth to do the rest of the things, right? So I'm very sure that my option is going to start with 1. And sadly, all the options are starting with 1. So we cannot eliminate any of these. Okay. But one more thing which is going to help us to do this is the last thing would definitely be death, right? Because death is something which is the end to life. So birth is the beginning to life. Death is the end to life. So our sequence should always end with death. So my 2 has to come in the end. So I can blindly say that option A could be eliminated because option A has 4 in the end. But the rest of the 3 options has 2 in the end. So now we have to filter out among these. So we have got the sequence. We know that 1 appears at the beginning, 2 appears at the end. Now let's see study, degree and marriage. Okay. Now most commonly, what do people do? Do they marry first or do they take degree or do they take study? What do they do? It's very obvious to get a degree, you need to study, right? To get a degree, you need to study. And after you finish your degree, you go and marry, right? So we've got the sequence here. We have 1, 3, 4, 5 and 2. Okay. I hope this makes sense. I've made myself clear enough. If any of you have any questions, please do put it on the comment section. Now we would be proceeding further. Let's see what's next. So I have a very important announcement to make. Well, most of you are already aware of it because I've been also telling this in my previous sessions, but still let me again let you know. So we are launching the registration form for the TUCO examination, which is the Ultimate Cuemath Olympiad 2020. So this examination would give a very good real-time experience to all the students from grade 1 to grade 10. And you could take up the registration and you could complete the registration process just for 200 rupees. The perks of registering to the TUCO examination is that you would be getting a course along with it, the whole Cuemath curriculum for Olympiad along with it, which is worth 5,000 rupees just for 200. So along with these master sessions, which are going to happen for, let's say, approximately next 3 months, after each session, you can always make your kids work on the worksheets, which is going to be provided in the material of Cuemath after you register. So with that, you are going to experience the best questions ever, and you will also get to know what are the kind of questions appearing in all of these examinations. And this is how your kids, and let's say that the teachers and parents who are also looking out for content, you would get the best experience of the TUCO sessions. So I would recommend all of you to go ahead and register for it. The registration link would be given in the description box. So all of you who are interested, I would recommend all of you to go and register. And again, I would like to repeat, it's from grade 1 to grade 10. Any student from grade 1 to grade 10 can register for this. And you would get a course which is worth rupees 5,000 just for rupees 200. Now with this, let's go ahead and begin with our advanced session. So this is towards the end of the session. I would like to wind it up with advanced questions and then we'll go ahead with the learning outcomes. and then we'll be done. So now, as of now, we've been doing a lot of basics. So let's go ahead and check out on some advanced level questions. So here goes our first question. Pretty interesting. I want all of you to focus because these questions are going to be slightly lengthy and it's also going to require some kind of analysis. So you all have to focus in it. Okay, let's check. So let me read out the question. If first 4 letters of the English alphabet are written in the reverse order, again next 5 letters are written in the reverse order, again next, okay. Instead of going about it in this way, let me first list down the things. First 4 letters. So can I say, let me just make it into sets, okay? So A, B, C, D is my first 4 letters. Going ahead, 5 letters. So that means E, F, G, H, I is my next set, correct? And then we have the next 6 letters. First, let me just write down the sets here. Then we are going to reverse it. It would be easier, okay? 6, okay. We are done with I, J, K, L, M, N, O. So we are done with 6 letters. Next, let's see which is the next one. Okay, again next 7 letters. So for the 7 letters, O, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, right? Okay, in the reverse order. And the remaining are also written in the reverse order. What is the remaining? After V, U, V, W, X. U, V, W, X, Y, Z. So W, X, Y, Z is the last set. So these are the sets which we have here. First set, second set, third set, fourth set and the fifth set. What am I supposed to do? I am supposed to reverse the order of the letters in all of these sets, right? So let me write it in the reverse order. So all of these are going to go in this direction, right? And let me form a sequence. So D, C, B, A is going to be the first one. And then again reversing this, I, H, G, F, E is going to be the second set. And then for the third one, let's see here, O, N, M, L, K, J. And then we have the next one, which is nothing but V, U, T, S, R, Q, P. And then we have the last set, which is nothing but Z, Y, X, W. Okay. This is the one. Now let's check out the question. Okay. So we have made the sequence. So if you look into the type of the question, initially in the basic level of questions, our sequence were given to us. But here the sequence is not given to us. We are creating the sequence, right? So we are supposed to figure out what will be the 9th letter to the right of the 7th letter from the left end. As I told you all, we have to first check out the reference. The reference is nothing but 7th letter from the left end. Let's first figure it out. So this is my left and this is my right. So when I go ahead and check this out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my 7th letter from the left is G. And I have to figure out what is the 9th letter to the right of this letter. So let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So V is the 9th letter to the 7th letter from the left. Hence, option D is the right answer to this. I hope all of you enjoyed this. So with this, let's go ahead with our second question. This is a pretty long question and I want all of you to be focused on this. Okay. So let's see. In the question, 2 rows of numbers are given. The resultant number in each row is to be worked out separately based on the following rules and the question below the rows of numbers is to be answered. The operation on number progress from left to right, as in we are supposed to go from left to right. Okay, and here are the rules. So let's check out. If an odd number is followed by another composite odd number, then they are to be multiplied. If an even number is followed by a number, then they are to be added. If an even number is followed by a number which is a perfect square, then the even number is to be subtracted from the perfect square. And next is, if an odd number is followed by a prime odd number, then the first number is to be divided by the second number. If an odd number is followed by an even number, then the second one is to be subtracted from the first one. Okay, let's look into the first row. And we are supposed to calculate what will be the result of the second row. So let me just put on the options quickly. Here goes our options and let's check this out. So we are going to go ahead in this order. So we have a 24, 49. Okay. So let's start from 29 and 49 and let's see what is the relationship that's being satisfied as per the given rules. So as you can see, 24 is a even number and 49 is a perfect square. Which is the rule we could apply out of the given 5 rules? I can go ahead with the third rule. So as per this rule, if an even number is followed by a number which is a perfect square. So this is a perfect square, 49, and it is also following an even number. Then the even number is to be subtracted from the perfect square. So from here, I could say that I could apply my rule 1. So this is my rule 3. So as per rule 3, I can subtract my number 49 minus 24, which gives me a 25. Now my result of these two is 25. And let's see then, now consider 25 to be the result of this, okay? And let's see next, if an odd number is followed by a prime odd number. We know that 25 is an odd number, right? 25 is an odd number and 5 is a odd prime number, right? And now, as I told you, you have to take the result of this, which is 25, and check out with 25 and 5. And we see that 25 is an odd number and 5 is a prime odd number. Then the first number to be divided by the second number, okay? So as per rule 4, we are going to divide the first number, which is 25, divided by 5, and that's going to give us a 5 here. So we know that this is going to carry forward in the second step. Therefore, the result of this step is nothing but it's the value of x. Isn't it so? X is equal to 5. Why is it 5? Let me again tell you. We are going in this order. We are starting from left, and the result of this last operation which we performed at the end of rule 4, that goes and gets carried forward. That becomes the input to the second row, right? So my second row's x value becomes 5. Now we are going to check out for the second row. Let's see what is the question which is asked. What will be the resultant of the second row? So now we have to see which rule best applies to the second row numbers. Okay. So we have an odd number and we have a odd number and odd number again. So, but this is a composite number. This is a prime number. So let's see. If an odd number is followed by another composite odd number, that's it. Rule 1 satisfies. So as per rule 1 on the second row, what am I going to do? As per rule 1 on the second row, I am going to apply this. Then they are to be multiplied, as in my 5 and 33 gets multiplied with itself. So 33 times 5 gives us 165, right? So here 15 and 5 times 3 is 15, which is 16, 165, right? Now let's see, the result of these two is 165. So with this 165, we are going to check out what happens with 94. If an even number is followed by a number, then they are to be added. Okay, even number is followed. So definitely it's not going to satisfy. Let's check out the fifth one. If an odd number is followed by an even number, we have got the rule. I have a 165, which is odd number, and it is being followed by an even number, which is nothing but 94. Then the second one is to be subtracted from the first one. So as per rule 5, what am I going to do? I'm going to subtract 165 minus 94, and that's going to give me 71. Hence, the result of the second row is nothing but 71. Pretty interesting question, right? As I told you that this is really going to be very, very interesting. And we are also taking quite good level of questions so that you all understand it well. And also, yes, there is no harm in having doubts. Definitely, many of you might have doubts. Please post it on the comment section. We'll be responding to it. Okay, so with this, we are towards the last question of the session. So here goes our last question. Vikas remembers that his father's birthday is between 13th and 16th of June. So 13th is this and 16th is this. Whereas his sister remembers that their father's birthday is between 14th and 18th of June. Okay, so father's birthday is between 14th and 18th of June. On which day is their father's birthday? Okay, so now let's say that Vikas' father's birthday is between 13th and 16th. So Vikas says that it's between 13 and 16. Right? It is between 13 and 16, which means that I cannot include the 13 and 16 dates. What could be the possibilities? It could be only 14 and 15. Okay? And as per his sister, She says that the birthday falls between 14th and 18th. So that means I can say that it's between 14th and 18th, as in this is 14th and this is 18th. I cannot include 14 and 18. So what are the numbers which can be included? I can have 15, I can have 16, and I can have 17. So definitely both of them are giving some hints, and the birthday is only possible on one particular table. It cannot have two different answers, right? So it's very obvious that 14th will be excluded because 14th cannot be an option as it is towards the extreme end, which the sister says is not in the range. Okay. The only possibility is 15 because 15 lies in the range of both of their clues. Hence, 15th of June would be the answer to this question. I hope that was clear enough. And with this, we are almost towards the end of the session. I hope you all enjoyed the session. Let's go ahead and check out our learning outcomes. So today we learned how to figure the pattern used in alphabets and numbers. I think we did a lot of questions today. Arranging the given data in sequential order and simplifying it. Yes, arranging is one thing which we have again learned better. Using certain simple tricks to solve the question according to the given options. Yes. The third thing is that we also learned how to develop sequence by checking out the rules, checking out the hints, and we learned how to make sequence and accordingly how to derive the answer by looking at the options. So with this, we would be winding up our session for today. And I would again like to see all of you that we have the biggest Olympiad math examination coming up. So I would want all of you to go ahead and register for the TUCO. The registration link will be given in the description box. Go ahead, do not delay and register today. And along with this, you're also going to get a course, complete course on Olympiad, which is worth rupees 5,000, which is going to help you out in practicing questions after attending the masterclass sessions. And with this, we would be winding up our session for today.